Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, fellow Haligonians. I come from Dartmouth, but I was born in Halifax. Hello, fellow Dartmouthians. What can I tell you? Hello, fellow Nova Scotians. Hello, distinguished visitors from the United Kingdom. Hello, distinguished visitors from the United States of America. Und die Leute aus Deutschland. Las personas de América Latina también. Hace frío esta noche, see? It's cold here tonight. We're so glad to have you here. Welcome to Titanic 100's gathering. We're going to be moving at about 8 o'clock into a procession of light. We're going to snake through the city and up through some of the notable places in Halifax, including along the Cable Wharf, up Hollis Street, through that area by Province House and some of the historic sites in the city. So for those of you who are visitors, we want you to drink in our local history. And for those of you who are natives, we want you to reacquaint yourself with this wonderful city. Halifax did itself proud. It did humanity proud 100 years ago when we recovered those terrible bodies who were lost in that terrible tragedy of the Titanic. So in a few minutes, we'll all join the candlelit procession, walk to the Grand Parade, where you'll be able to enjoy the Night of the Bells. As I said a few moments ago, we'll walk along the waterfront where cable ships 100 years ago left on their mission of recovery. Then we'll proceed up George Street, along Hollis, up Prince Street, then along Argyle Street, where we'll pass the home of the Titanic survivor Hilda Slater and the former Snow's Funeral Home. Snow's Funeral Home was very, very much involved with processing the bodies of those who perished on the Titanic, and it is now the Five Fishermen Restaurant. So we'll go by there. We'll end up at the Grand Parade in the middle of Halifax for the wonderful performances which we have lined up for you later on tonight. Before we do that, I'd like to welcome a couple of special guests to bring greetings from the province of Nova Scotia and from the Halifax Regional Municipality. Please welcome Leonard Prera. Leonard, if you're here, I haven't seen you, but I hope you're in the audience. He's the MLA for Halifax Sable Island, and he'll join us now. Mr. Prera. I don't think we've seen Leonard. He may be running a little late tonight. We do have Mary Weil, who's here representing the Halifax Regional Municipality. Mary, if you could make your way this way, we'd appreciate it. Here she is, Mary Weil, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, good evening, everyone. What an honor to be here tonight and on this special occasion. I couldn't be more pleased to be here. On behalf of His Worship Mayor Peter Kelly and my fellow councillors, I want to say hello to all of you and all our guests and visitors from far away. I welcome you as well to this Maritime Museum of the Atlantic as we commemorate one of the world's worst ocean tragedies, that of the sinking of the Titanic 100 years ago, this very evening on April the 14th, 1912. And to be able to share with you the memories and the tributes we are giving to not only those who lost their lives on the Titanic, but also to be thankful for the lives that were saved. The world was shocked when the Titanic sank, and little did the city of Halifax and its citizens know what an important role they would play in this event. While the fate of the Titanic is now one of the most well-known disasters in the world, what is perhaps not as well known was Halifax's role as the initial rescue center, and then as a recovery destination, and finally a resting place for many of the ship's victims who were laid to rest at 3 local cemeteries: the Fairview Lawn Cemetery, the Mount Olive Cemetery, and the Baron de Hirsch Cemetery. And it was a very difficult task for those that were involved, and I am sure that many of them suffered physically and mentally performing these terrible tasks. but I do understand that each victim was treated gently and with respect. As quoted in our daily newspaper, the Halifax Chronicle-Herald, they made a wonderful statement, and that was, lives were lost, heroes were born, and Halifax's role in recovery is sealed in history. Tonight we will be remembering this tragedy as part of the Night of the Bells, as we participate in a candlelight procession from this museum to the Grand Parade. Let us keep in mind the children, the adults, and the crew who did not survive as we walk with our candles. In turn, I would be remiss if I did not say a big thank you to Mr. Andrew Murphy, the chair of the Titanic 100 Society, and all the committee members for their dedication and commitment in planning these events. I am sure many days and hours were spent preparing for this. So tonight we will begin with a tribute through music and song to those who died with the Titanic, and also to be thankful for those who had survived. And finally, on behalf of the residents of the Halifax Regional Municipality, I want to thank all the visitors who have come from many parts of the world to share with us this very special event. And I'll leave with one final quote from the Chronicle-Herald. 100 years ago, the Titanic met her fate. 100 years later, we are remembering. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Mary. We'd like to do a little bit of housekeeping now, if you don't mind, ladies and gentlemen. We'd like to thank our sponsors who are making this evening's festivities, this evening's commemorations possible. They are the Chronicle-Herald, Canada Post, Snow's Funeral Home, and Hatfield Farms, as well as the Maritime Museum of the Atlantic for hosting the gathering. We'd also like to thank all our volunteers, and without you, major events like this just couldn't run as we hoped that they would. Anybody has the need to answer nature's call before we begin the procession, I'm told there are washrooms available in the courtyard and at Vic. For the longest while I couldn't find who Vic was, and then somebody finally told me it's the Visitor Information Center over here. So should nature call, those are the two venues where you can answer it. We do have coffee, hot chocolate, snacks available here at this gathering, put on for us by the Rotary Club. All proceeds will go to projects that the Rotary is currently working on for the underprivileged in this community. So we'll ask procession team leaders to please register at the registration table if you've not already done so, to pick up your programs and your candles. And while we gather and organize ourselves for the profession, I should say, please enjoy the music of our talented musicians. We'll have them back now, Kevin Roach and Glenn Coolin. Kevin and Glenn, please join us. And I want to remind you to enjoy the Night of the Bells, our musical journey featuring 20 different performers and acts. That's at the Grand Parade, the end of our procession. We have a wonderful night lined up for you there, so please stay around and join us for that. And if you can make it tomorrow, there will be a graveside spiritual ceremony at the Fairview Lawn Cemetery. That's tomorrow afternoon, starting at 3 o'clock. Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Roach, Glenn Coolin.